Welcome back. I'm Billy,
I'm Eddie.
and we are the
Trick
Trick
or
or
Treaters.
Treaters. Give us your candy. So today we are reviewing Prey. This was a Hulu exclusive, and I kept looking up, like, hey, are they going to do a physical release? Didn't hear anything. One day I went to Walmart. They had this sitting there on the shelf. I'm like, I gotta buy it because it was not one that I thought was going to get a physical release. I thought Hulu was going to hold it hostage and just keep it on the Hulu site. And finally, it went on sale. And I'm telling you, when I went, they probably had about 20 of these in stock on
I
4K.
think I actually saw one of the steelbooks up there, maybe.
Really? Because I went, they didn't have the steelbook. They had this, they had the Blu-ray, and I think they might have the DVD, but they had tons of copies. And the steelbook now is like $60 to $70 because there are fewer of them and harder to find. So I'm hoping when we go to VStock, we get lucky or FYE and we find. But anyways, Prey follows. It's in the 1700s, a Comanche camp. Naru and Tabe, her brother, and it's them two. But the main story, of course, is on her, and she wants to become a hunter, but they don't have faith in her abilities early on. So we started to follow her journey. What did you think about the way it was shot?
It was awesome. I loved it. Being a fan of the original Predator movies, especially the original two, and even more the first one, it reminded me a lot of it. Because in the original Predator film, you follow a group of soldiers.
Mm.
So you still have that hunter aspect. So seeing a Comanche warrior go up against probably what is one of the greatest hunters in science fiction was awesome. And there were a couple references to the other films. One of the greatest lines that I cheered, if it bleeds, we can kill it. And if you're a Predator fan, you know that line.
And then we also saw the gun. But it didn't show the name until later. It was like Raphael.
Yeah, at the end there's a reference to Predator 2, and I missed it. The only reason I caught it is he knew about it, and then I searched it up on YouTube.
Well, I pointed out the thing was though is that it was the way it had like dirt on it, and so you couldn't see it when you watch the film. It's really you'd almost have to pause it.
Yeah.
But when you look online, they give you a clearer picture because I think she does clean it probably cleans it, but the whole idea Prey. The whole idea is the circle of life, right? You see the mouse go after the bug, and then you see the snake get the mouse, then you see the predator kill and skin the snake, and that was a really good sequence. I saw you jump a little bit because you're not expecting it when that snake has no skin on it and it moves a little bit. It's like, whoa, what is this?
As I said, I've seen the Predators films, AVP, all the Predator films, and watching how they downgraded his tech. The Predator tech from what we're used to seeing to something that he may have carried in the 1700s was awesome. So you're not looking at the same plasma rifle, all the neat little toys that you're used to seeing. They downgraded them to sort of make sense. Like, yes, he's an alien, but his tech has evolved as they've become better hunters.
I like how you pointed that out because as I watch the rest of the series with you and we go into the timeline a little bit, I want to see how they evolve because it only makes sense that a hunter would become smarter based on the defeats of the past predators and we don't, that sort of thing. But yeah, just to see them evolve as well as the humans. And seeing a Native American film, I can't think of too many films that are Native American that are like this.
Centered like that? No. One of my favorites that actually focuses on Native Americans and it's historically based. Wind Talkers.
I haven't seen that one.
Nicolas Cage, World War II. It's about the Navajo code.
Ooh.
That we used against the Japanese. That's all I'm saying about that one. Check it out. We don't want to get too far off topic.
No, but Prey, the way they shot this beautifully, Native American times, before they would have had all this tech, the only person with great tech is the Predator. But The brother I really like. The brother-sister relationship is really well done. He wants what's best for her, and she does have some things that she has to learn, and he's trying to help her. But those two, the fight, we'll get into that in a bit, I guess. We have to talk about the so after with the whole circle of life thing we're talking about, there's a point where she comes across a herd of buffalo that have all been skinned. They're, and she finds a cigar. So initially, when I had watched the film, we thought it was the predator that did it, but it was actually the French. So she comes into the French, and they take her and the brother, and they gut him. I mean, they don't kill him, but they skin him basically, where they cut him with a knife, and then they're used as bait. But the predator, from our understanding, only wants to go after something that has a chance to fight back, so it does not actually attack them while they're tied up.
You could see that they were held hostage basically as bait, and she realized that it's like, no, he wants a worthy hunt. And watching Predator, the original one, they start to understand that too. The reason he's going after them is because they are heavily armed soldiers. They're Marines or Army, one of the two. I don't remember which branch.
Well, we had that joke where there's a Native American character. He gets his arm cut off, and I said he was. And
he was well armed. I was gonna make a disarm joke.
He's gonna make a disarm joke, but it wasn't very handy, that's for sure. But the sequences, the way they shot this, the camp looked legitimate.
Exactly.
Like
that's why I even asked you if you knew if they actually found like an authentic camp.
Well, based on the deleted scenes, what they did, it looked like they filmed in Canada, I believe, and they said they were in they actually had brought in Native American people to help them make it look authentic.
Both as the consultants and the lead actors, they were Comanche.
There's actually a Comanche cut of this. It's dubbed, but you can watch that. That's one of the options here, and you can just put on subtitles. But I don't know. There's something about Native American culture and history that I really like and really respect, and the fact that you can see the difference. The French are gutting and they're killing all these animals. The Native Americans only took what they needed to survive. So you can see the difference where the greed, the differences in cultures, where the French are these brutal, they're the real savages, but they're brutal and they just kill for fun, and whereas the Native Americans only take lives when they need to. So there's also that whole respect culture there where the nature can be at one with you. You take what you need and move on. But first, the first threat to them is a lion. It's not a predator, it's a lion. But then she realizes first, no one believes her at first, something else. There's a bigger threat than a lion. There's a bigger threat than a bear. There's something else out there. And that build, the way they did it was so perfect. The way that the tension's building. We know there's a predator. She knows there's a predator.
You see his arrival, and I'm like, it's about to get good.
And so I like the way they did the whole building the tension. Okay, they're hunting a lion. She has an idea. She falls a little bit short. She hunts the bear. The bow doesn't work properly. It snaps on her. She can't kill the bear. And they're just building this. Okay, she failed the first time. She didn't do it the second time. Will she redeem herself? But here's the thing. You could argue, I'm going to argue that Naru is the ultimate hunter because she knows medicine. She knows how to track. She's able to heal their guy that got wounded, that survives. She's able to do all these great things, and then later she becomes a good hunter. So she could heal somebody and hunt. I mean, so she is almost the ultimate hunter, I would say, by the end of the film. And then what was the name of that stuff she took? It was like an orange.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
That was really cool because it cooled the blood and it stopped the guy from bleeding out. Now, it's really cool how they relied on nature to take care of them, too. But they're out in the open with this camp, so they have to stop the lion from picking off everybody. I think it injures the one, and it does kill the other guy in the tree who's sitting there saying, me and your brother and I will eventually hunt this lion, and then it gets ripped out of the tree. So he gets too arrogant. And she would have had him if she wouldn't have been distracted by, there was that lightning, and then you saw the predator in the distance. So if she wouldn't have got distracted, she had that lion. But I really liked her character. And then the fight with the brother and sister. He had him. He had to go invisible to survive. He knew he was defeated.
Three-way,
Yeah, he was going to die. That was it. the predator would have been killed right there, but he went invisible and was able to take out the brother. But
he activated the cloaking mechanism.
And then you thought she was going to die, but the brother, in one last gasp, stabs him to distract him long enough. And when the predator looks up, she's gone.
She's gone. Yeah. But it was a great film. Fan of the Predator series, I recommend you watch it. From what I've heard, because I've not seen the third Predator in years since it first came out, and I've not gotten to watch the fourth one yet, despite owning them. I haven't gotten around to watching them. But it does show a love for at least the first film. You could tell that watching it. I mean, one of the makeup artists that was involved, Tom Woodruff Jr. If I'm remembering right, he was the guy in the Predator costume in the original film.
That's pretty cool. So it's come full circle then.
Well, he also does a lot of special effects with other stuff. That being that familiar with the Predator helps.
That's pretty awesome. One more thing, story-wise, I'd like to point out that sequence where the guy that cut her brother, she is talking to him and the predator at the same time. Where he's like, "You foolish savage," because she left a gun by him, but it didn't have any, ammunition in it. But she is talking to the predator, trying to get his attention to challenge it to a fight, while also basically taking care of that guy that attacked her brother. So it's really cool the way they did that. And then in the fight where she takes the orange stuff and she just jumps on his back, and then he falls into the the mud or the quicksand, whatever you want to call it, and then uses his own technology against it. That was brilliant. I have no complaints about this film. There are always little things. The soundtrack blends well. The action was really good. There's nothing I can actually nitpick about. They're building it, so it's not. I wouldn't even consider it the slowest of builds because it's under 2 hours. It's just they're building that tension. They're building and building. So it's everything they did for a reason. I don't think there's any wasted scenes in this film.
No, and the thing is, normally when you get these prequels or sequels, you don't need that tension building because most people go in seeing the other films. Prey, it did it beautifully.
Yes.
Because you could sit as a newcomer to the franchise and start with Prey.
That's what I did, yeah. I'm pretty new to the franchise. I have friends that talk about Predator a lot. They watch like YouTube videos and they discuss the different types of predators. They watched this hour-long video on YouTube after we watched Prey, and they were talking about like the different kinds of predators and which ones are stronger and what.
Yeah.
But basically, the idea of the predator is the ultimate hunter. But yeah, I have no complaints about this. Like, I can't even nitpick anything.
And you were saying that they've already got talks for a sequel?
Well, nothing's confirmed, but they have discussed about
talks.
maybe ways they could go, either doing something like a spin-off or a side movie. But I would like to see another one with Naru, like what happens after, that sort of thing. If there is another predator that fights them, but she is my favorite. Like, I have to say, this is probably my favorite action film. I told you, it's got to be top of all time for me. But even just in the last 5 to 10 years, there are very few action films I can think of that hit this level, like just an action film. I mean, it's also, you could sci-fi horror, that sort of thing. But the way they did it, I can't think of anything I like this much just in the action. John Wick, but that's a different kind of action film. That is a revenge film, guns and stuff. This is all old tech. So I really like the way they did that they're using bow and arrows. She has a tomahawk that she puts a rope on, which was so neat.
That was awesome. Now, but another good thing, and despite being made for Hulu, it was well done. I was worried at first with it being one that was just thrown on the streaming services. It was going to be some cheesy film trying to cash in on the Predator name.
Sure.
Because they sort of advertised it as a Predator movie.
Yeah. I didn't really see any trailers for this. It just happened my friend knew about it and showed it to me.
So I was worried it was just trying to cash in on the name. No, it was done beautifully. Hulu just got the release rights first.
Amber Midthunder captured that character perfectly. Naru is, I know we don't cuss loud, but there's the only way to say it. She's a badass. That's the only way to say it. Her character is great. The dog. The dog. Oh my god. So my friends told me there's a website called doesthedogdie.com, and they will not go to a film if they find out the dog dies beforehand.
There's a website for Does the Dog.
Doesthedogdie.com, I believe is the name they told me. But basically, they research before a film. Anytime there's a trailer with an animal, they want to know if the animal lives or not. If the animal doesn't live, they don't go to the film. So that's one of the things. They did not pull an I Am Legend in this movie. It's this was great, and it was cool because the dog really helps a lot. And there was that time where the predator had the spear he was going to throw at her, and because the dog bit him and threw him off, it stopped her from dying.
Yeah.
So there were moments where you thought she could have died. Now, if there is a sequel with her in it, I will watch it. I don't,
See, that's another thing is they haven't really set a time frame for how often the predator race returns to Earth.
Right, so they leave it to where they have all these options.
Let's see.
Because this was the 1700s. I want to say 1719.
Predator 2, I know for a fact because they just mentioned it in the YouTube video. It was 1990. Off the top of my head, I do not remember the release year for the first Predator, but I want to say mid-80s. So give 5-ish years.
Mm-hmm.
So they could easily bring back the same cast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the ones that are still around, yes.
Yes.
I kind of wish the brother had survived, but Naru's journey would not be complete without the death because it gave her something to fight for.
Exactly.
She got more angry, but she was able to focus with her anger. Sometimes you hear about these people that they take their anger and they kind of black out with it. She doesn't do that. She uses it to grow. But yeah, this was great. The mom has a few scenes with her, but the main focus is Naru and her brother.
Yes.
And the tribe was really well done. Like the way they coordinated was really cool. But they keep downing her. The brother sees potential in her, I think, because there was a point where they say, "Why are you here? Who invited you?" And he says she's a good tracker. So he acknowledges that she does have some skills. She's using these other skills to try to become a hunter, but they're not really giving her a chance.
Looking at the time when the movie's set, a lot of the time, the men were the hunters. They went out, they killed, they brought home dinner.
Sure. And it's implied her father was a great hunter based on the things that they've said. But she wants to prove them wrong.
The women were medicine and they stayed home and cared for the kids.
They were the gatherers. They would get the berries.
Fruits, berries, that sort of thing. So they doubted her just because she wanted to be outside the norm. Her brother sees potential.
Right. But I think he's also trying to be realistic.
But he's, one, realistic, and two, well, he's her brother protector.
Yeah, he doesn't want her to get killed.
It's a sibling thing.
But their relationship's great. Throughout the film, they build that. We get quite a bit of time with the brother before everything happens. The French being in there, I think, was needed because it adds another layer into that storytelling. If they wouldn't have been there, you wouldn't have had the whole thing where they were captured and everything. And then she saves that one man that can speak English, but then he ultimately, doesn't make it either. So it's just like all these things happen to build the final fight. But my two favorite fights are with Naru and her brother fighting him the first time, and then at the end with Naru and her.
Yeah.
That was cool. The way they did that. Like her jumping out of that tree and just like going to town with the knot. Like that was awesome. Yeah, but there's nothing I can say here. Like you playing that. I saw a statue, by the way, guys, where she is holding the predator's head. They made a statue of her holding the predator's head. And I thought that was just like the coolest thing. But I like how they do that. They would come back with the trophy. Like where they're holding the head up. Like he comes back with the lion's body and then he has the lion's head.
Proof of the kill.
Proof of the kill. And the predator even does that too. Like the wolf, he like freezes down and gets rid of the skin and just keeps the skull and he like attaches it to the side there.
Same premise, and I will show you more if we watch the other Predator films.
We're going to be watching the other Predator. I'm not going to say we're going to do them in order. Like we're going to watch them in time order. But what I'm saying is we might be doing other reviews before we get there. I'm not going to tell you what our next video is because at this point we're not sure.
Even we don't know.
Yeah, so it's going to be a surprise to us too.
But Predator 2, you get or look inside one of the ships.
Really?
Trophy room.
So my question to you is, should we watch all the Predator films, watch the Aliens, then watch Predator vs. Alien?
Okay. Timeline-wise. Going in universe timeline-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Prey. 4 Predators, I think. I need to see the times on the last 2, but definitely the first 2 Predators. Then the AVPs, those take place in 2004. Then the Aliens take place hundreds of years later.
Okay, cool. So we can watch all the Predator stuff first and then go to Aliens and be fine.
Yeah.
I've seen Prometheus, saw that in theaters. Yeah, that's what I thought.
It was alright. I mean,
it was okay
for
what it was.
We're getting off topic.
No, it's still with Predator, you know. But
the thing is, trying to connect those universes anymore doesn't work because of Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
See, I haven't seen those, so I have a lot of catching up to do. But guys, we hope you enjoyed this. If you love action, if you're a fan of the Predator series, I think this is a must buy for that. Even if you just want a good action film.
Yeah, but definitely as a fan of the Predator films, it's a buy. I don't have it myself, but Billy has it. It's on my buy list now. I'm getting myself a copy.
See, this is why we like to hang out, because when we watch movies like this together, we figure out what we need to buy next. There are films that he has that I know I would like to get, but sometimes I forget about titles because you go to the store looking for something new and you won't see. Like Prey was on an end cap, so I saw it. But like, let's say if it would have been 2 years later and I finally came into this, I would have had to have gone online. So this is why I like hanging out with friends, because when their movie collection is different than mine, I can see what I need. So I would say this is something I highly recommend you watching or buying. It is on Hulu, I believe, still, because it's one of their exclusives, but they did finally come out with the physical release. When I'm talking physical media, this is top tier for me. Like, of the movies we've reviewed so far, of the 3 we reviewed, this is my favorite so far, but they're all good in their own way.
Yes, and it's what's great about Prey is they could have done a bare bones release, just the movie.
I'm glad they didn't.
But no, you get the what I imagine, Comic-Con panel.
Yeah, there's a FYC panel with the cast and crew. That's 20 minutes for your consideration promotional event. Yeah. So this was to hype up the film, I think. It's about a half hour.
There's an audio commentary, there's deleted scenes. I mean, they could have cut their losses and given them just the film. But they put some love into this physical release.
And next time when he comes over and we want to watch this again, we'll watch it at my place in 4K and we'll see what it looks like. It looks amazing.
That's one of the things I asked him, because this is the 4K version, but I don't have the setup to play 4K.
And we'll eventually get him the setup for 4K down the road, or at least a Blu-ray setup. I mean, this is fine. This is a good setup. He does not have a bad setup or anything. But I would like to get him.
I've thought about seeing if I can find a small 4K Blu-ray.
There you go. Yeah, if you don't want to get the console, if you want to go the way of a player, we might be able to figure something out. But like I said, that's the end of this. Thanks for tuning in. We will come at you with another video soon. I'm not sure what we're going to be reviewing. But our plans are movies, TV shows, and eventually some streaming exclusives like Netflix. Like I know Wednesday we've talked about. Yeah. We've talked about Stranger Things.
And Fear Street.
We've watched those already, but we haven't done a proper review yet. We may even have to rewatch them before we do a review.
Definitely.
But I wouldn't mind rewatching and setting up some different things. But there's a lot coming to the channel. We're going to be doing stuff. We're also going to go on some adventures. We may or may not share some of those with you.
Whether it be videos of us or just pictures from our days out.
Yeah, like the plan is for us to go to V-Stock sometime and show you guys what we bought. But a collection, by the way, one last thing before we end this, I will say my plan is for us to eventually show our collections off. And then instead of keep doing new collection videos, showing like the writing down and showing what we bought that year. That way we don't have to keep going through every film we own, because after a while that's going to get too much.
For both of us.
So I would like to do a video where you do your collection, and then every year you show everybody your new stuff that you're getting.
Have a notepad or something. Say, okay, what have I bought?
And then buy something right. And I'm going to do the same, because otherwise it gets exhausting. This is a tip for you guys. If you have Google Docs, or what is it you use?
I use Google Sheets because it's a spreadsheet.
Google Sheets.
So I mean, what my spreadsheet looks like is title, date of release, starting with year, month, day, and runtime.
Oh, okay, that's very useful.
And then because of my organization, I have this column for format, whether it's DVD or Blu-ray.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then even TV, because at least my Supergirl set is the same height as my DVD sets. Usually the Blu-rays are shorter.
Right.
I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah.
I love how that way I can have Supergirl sitting right next to Arrow and Flash. Because I was a little worried because they do go together, but I was worried it'd be like it'd throw off the.
But if you're an action film fan, buy this, put it on your top row of your shelf. You're gonna rewatch this a few times.
I was about to say everybody has their own organization. So it's his. I don't know what it was at one point. He had his favorites on the top. So
I did. I had one row completely of personal favorites. What I think I'm going to do, guys, is break down finally A to Z because the release date thing makes a lot of sense. I've considered that. My thing is the reason I will do A to Z is I have a lot of series I want to keep together. So if it's A to Z, I'm gonna break that a little bit based on series.
I was about to say I've thought about breaking my release order and putting sets that have been bought separately together. For instance, my Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I can see that.
The 8-film set is under 1980, and then go to like the 90s where I got Jason Goes to Hell because that and Jason X were released under a different company, so I don't have a complete box set for them.
But so far we've reviewed Trick or Treat, James and the Giant Peach, and Prey. That's 3 films out of like between the two of us like 900 something kind of.
And
it's probably like 1,000.
Mine's grown since
we both have a little bit
because I've got the Lost Boys trilogy on order. I've got the Lord of the Rings extended trilogy on order. Escape from LA.
I will say because I've
already got Escape from New York.
Because I'm running out of room, I haven't been buying as much. But I have been buying a little bit here and there as I find deals. I was telling him I was in Best Buy the other day, and I had a DVD of Avatar. I bought the 4K Steelbook edition of the first Avatar, and then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I've been eager to watch because of the fact that I found out Luke Perry's in it. This was one of his films before he passed.
One of his final ones.
Luke Perry's in there. The girl who plays Amber in Scream 5.
Okay.
Is in there, and she's awesome. I don't know. I think this might be one of her early roles. Of course, Leonardo DiCaprio, and then the guy who plays his stunt double is Brad Pitt. And then you also there was another big name, and there's 3 big name people. I forget what her name was. It's off the top of my head. I can't tell you guys. But
well, it sounds like something we may do in the future.
Probably here soon. But guys, the point is, we have so much to watch that we don't get time like this to like hang out all the time. I'd like to start doing that more because if we're going to go through, I'm not saying we're going to watch every film in the collections, but the ones that we feel like are worth rewatching, we will definitely rewatch. And one I have planned for him to watch with me, we'll see, Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh my God, yes.
I found a collector's, like a different edition for like a few bucks at like a flea market place.
Just the one?
And it comes with the book, yeah.
You need to get Life of Brian.
I've seen that one.
And Meaning of Life.
And I haven't seen Meaning of Life.
And then there's Monty Python's Flying Circus. You want to just sit and laugh your ass off? I thought.
See, this is the problem, guys. We talk about movies and shows way too much, and we, if there's such a thing, and we make references, but like I said, we have so many more videos we're going to do. Stay tuned. We're happy to have you here. But I would like for you to talk about your favorite. If you've seen the film, I would like for you to comment your favorite scenes, what you liked about the film, what were some things that you really enjoyed, and you could even talk about some of the other things you enjoy about the Predator series as a whole. He will know more about it than I will, so I'll let him answer the questions on that. But yeah, if you hear from us in the comments, we both have access to this channel. It'll be one of us. I can't, one or the other. So if you talk to someone that has a little more knowledge, it's probably this guy. If it's just more of like a general discussion, it might be me. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Is there anything you want to say to the viewer? Or?
Not off the top of my head. Like I said, we don't know what's going on next. When this is getting posted, what, 2 weeks?
We're going to be doing future releases of some of these videos. Spoiler, guys. Sometimes when you're seeing this, it's already been filmed a little while ago, but we're going to try not to get to where we're like 20 or 30. You know what I mean? We don't want to be like half a year that you're waiting for a video. So we're going to shoot for weekly, But life does happen, so we have to be a little bit flexible based on things. But we're gonna try to do once a week.
So once a week at least, we could shoot 2, 3 videos a day if we have time.
Right now, we're planning on Tuesday releases. That's traditionally, that is when movies would come out in stores for Tuesdays. You would buy your new video game or movie in stores on Tuesdays. They pick that day because think about it, when they're shipping out, it arrives at the store, say Monday, they put it out Tuesday.
Pick a truck, yeah.
And that was a good day because people pop in after work. There's not really Fridays, people are out. So if you did Tuesday, people would be in their store getting stuff. So it makes sense, I guess, in a way. But that was the traditional I found out from some people. Tuesdays were, and they still are, Tuesdays are the big day for physical media releases. So, but we've gotten off topic like always. We will give you guys tips on movie collecting. We'll talk about random things. It's going to happen because we both are squirrel brained.
Any suggestions on movies, whether to see them or even you want to see us review them? We're welcome to that.
We are, because that'll give us an excuse to either rent or buy a film. If it's something that you guys recommend that it's already been kind of on our list, we'll probably go ahead and put it down. If not, we'll at least write it down and do a little research into it. But I am one, I kind of prefer at times, like when I go to see a modern film, I like to see a trailer first. But if it's something that's been out for a while, I kind of like going in blind.
Some of those older ones are great to go in blind. I'll say that.
Because I don't like the trailers, and we'll get into that at some point. There are trailers that spoil the entire film. Definitely don't want to get into that.
I've been out of high school for about 10 years now. My love of film started back when I was in 6th grade, when the original Dracula from 1931 celebrated its 75th anniversary.
Dang.
My dad bought it on DVD, thinking that having grown up on Jason, Chucky, Freddy, all these slashers, me and my brother wouldn't like it. They'd be dad movies that dad would enjoy, just relax after a rough day. Dracula got over with. Me and my brother both looked at that and went, got me more? And that started my real love of film. That's why those Universal Monsters, as they're called, were on my get list for my collection. Because it's what started my love of film.
Okay, so I've always liked film, I guess, and shows from when I was young. But I think when the turning point for me, I remember the original Jurassic Park.
Good
loving that. But my dad.
But you've got a few years on me, so.
That my dad showed me a film I fell in love with, and we will be doing it eventually, The Crow.
Oh, yes.
One of my all-time favorites. And when I found out the story behind the scenes and everything, it made me go from just watching movies to enjoy them to thinking about what the actors are going through, behind the scenes stuff, special features. That's when I started liking that, because The Crow had a few special features on the VHS. That's how old I am. Or yeah, I had a few things that played after, but
very rarely did they do that.
They showed a very short scene after the film that was telling you about Brandon Lee and everything.
Oh, okay, so it was like a dedication to Lee.
Yes, but to me, The Crow was the turning point to where I started looking at films more than just a movie, more like an art, basically. And now we'll get into that too. Now that I do a little bit of improv and stuff, I like to view things. I like to be in things, but I also like to be an audience member and be able to look at it from both sides. What went into the acting, the creation of it, and then what they had to do to perform that. And then as a viewer, what I find good. So it's just really cool how we both have different stories, but we share this bond over enjoying film a lot. And I'm sure we're going to get into this stuff. I'm excited to get into your collection because you have a lot of the old Universal Monster stuff. And I remember watching like The Creature from the Black Lagoon and just loving it. So I'm wanting to watch some of these older films because I know I'm going to like a lot of them.
But hopefully we'll see you guys in another week.
Yeah, here soon. We will see you. And like I said, if for some reason you don't see us, it just means something happened. We didn't get a video, but we're going to try to be consistent. Like I said, Tuesday releases. So enjoy the video. Like I said, check out Prey. You can get it on Blu-ray, 4K, DVD. And it does have some good special features, but not too many to the point where it's going to be hours and hours of your time. Eventually, I am going to sit down and watch the audio commentary because I really want to.
You get around to watching that with listening to that without me.
No, we'll watch that together probably.
Because I enjoy a good audio commentary. Some commentaries are like they're just talking to hear themselves talk. Others are really good.
This is the director, the actress Amber Midthunder, the director of photography, and the film editor. And I know this sounds cheesy, guys, but watching this, I would love to be outside around a campfire watching this, like setting this up to where we could have a projector and sit around a bonfire with a few friends and do like a night, go outside at night and watch this stuff.
There are a number of films I would love to do that. One is Jaws.
And the bad thing is there are coyotes around, so there's always a chance that right when they're getting attacked, we have to fight off a coyote.
I would love to watch Jaws while in swimming. That's another one of those experience films that I would love.
We have all kinds of crazy ideas, but we look forward to sharing them with you. We hope you like the channel and come back, and we will talk more films with you. And like I said, we will do some Q&As at some point. You know, if you guys leave comments, we will do videos responding to certain comments if we feel like the topic is long enough to have to do a response video to it. You know what I mean? So bring in the commentary, bring in the conversation. Let's get it going. All right. Until next time, this has been the Trick or Treaters.